It was the month of February. Me and my friends were on a scout and guide trip. We had a wonderful time together, building tents and playing games. Sometime around April and March, we had the summer break. But here's the catch. The long summer break extended to days, night, and even months and years. Some of our classmates were really happy, while the smart kids were getting frustrated. I still need to study. Shut up, nerd. Me and my friends were still in contact with each other through text. I asked them if they cared about the school being shut down for so long, and they didn't seem to care. What else could you do staying home? Watch TV, play video games, and sleep late. I also like to spend time with my brother playing with toys. I was around 6th, 7th grade when the COVID-19 was spread across the globe. So out of boredom, I would of course spend time drawing and watch art YouTubers posting videos like ASMR, Draw With Me, I turned the president in my art style. And that really inspired me. Here's a fact that I actually used to dislike social media before when I was a kid. I only watched YouTube, and whenever my friends would show me their Instagram post, I would say, "No, I don't like that. Shut up." I was an obedient kid who will be so reserved that I did not do trendy stuff like the other kids would. Even my fashion choices were simple. So staying home made me explore social media out of boredom. One of the few YouTubers I watched, I saw them drawing their OC. OC basically meaning original character. I saw the digital ways of using witchcraft. I summoned Abracadabra, my original character. So I dived in IB's Paint and started watching tutorials. Now you will hate me for this or my old self to have such a strict opinion that I used to hate digital art, and here are my reasons. I thought that it is cheating and using actual art supplies makes you look like an pro artist. But I actually wanted to try something new. A brand new skill perhaps? At the start, it was kinda hard to understand the tools. I used to watch a tutorial video whenever I would pick up my tablet for something to draw digitally. But look at me now. I draw digitally most of the time because it is easy, okay? I don't remember what time of the year this was, but me and my brother decided to create a Roblox game. We called it the Mystery Town Said. He started working on Roblox Studio playing with some random tools. I don't know even if he knows, or maybe he watched tutorials. And I was coming up with characters and the main plot. It was around December. On some random year, random month, random day, I made this. I was working on a drawing until I realized, did I really make this? A blonde girl with blue eyes wearing her signature color red, and a small kid beside her as she wraps her arm around his shoulders. Of course, he is her brother, a little brother. For some reason, I was very satisfied with creating something like this. But I don't know why, because I have created many fan arts before. Out of all of them, why did I like this better? But my 12-year-old version really was satisfied with this idea. So she decided to raise them like a child. So let's talk a bit about Mystery Town Said. A town you wouldn't like to step foot in. Filled with the smell of burnt ashes and fragrant roses. The wind is gentle, too gentle to be mysterious. The roses that grow here are dangerous than the cactus. A town that a common folk is not allowed to cross the border, where children are forbidden from crossing what lies beyond this town. Once crossed, you'll be eliminated. Everyone is watching you. What everyone is watched by is the cruel mayor. She has her red ends looking for the non-belonging people from each corner. The mayor has eyes everywhere. You may never know who is her next victim. The blood that you carry in your veins is like a tear of a withered rose. Wow, that was dramatic. You see, the title was changed over the years while I was deciding the plot. While developing a game never really meant that me and my brother decided much of the story. We were too interested in creating the game mechanics and the gameplay features. To the left was the compass, a map and an inventory where you store random stuff that you have found from the town. After a few weeks, my brother surprised me with something. He actually made a game. He plugged in a few ready-made items that were already in the Roblox studio. Items like buildings, restaurants, shops, and a few random NPCs. He even added snow-falling features, but we had high expectations. We tried to join in with our Roblox accounts, but it was lagging real bad. But it wasn't his fault, of course. Since he used Roblox Studio on the laptop instead of PC, it didn't last much. Oh, bummer. There was a scenario when I would watch shows like Amazon Original or Netflix Original series. Only one of them was recommended by my mom, which was an Amazon Prime original called Just That Magic. I watched a few minutes of the start of the episode, and here's what my reaction was. This is too kiddish. My mom was disappointed and said that she had watched the series alone before and thought that I might like it too. And for a person like me who shows interest in something when the world is dying, I actually give it a try. So watching episode 1 made me so impressed. You could say that this is my childhood favorite show. I was glued to my TV entire day and night. So I took the inspiration of baking and restaurant concept. Mr. Townsend has a famous restaurant, which is a go-to place for common folk, which is owned by the well-known family called the Revosky family, or gratefully known as the Roseblooms. Let's say character X is the main owner of this restaurant, and also the chef. And I won't spoil you who this character is, as they are one of the closest characters to the main protagonist. That's why I'll just say character X. Imagine going to a restaurant with your friends and family, and then you see every single item in the menu at least has one rose ingredient, which makes it so special. Would you ever visit to the restaurant ever again? I don't like flowers. I thought that they are always so boring, just standing there idly, not even bouncing around like your cute companion dog. Like maybe the family's theme could be like a bird or something. Unlike other flowers, roses are not just there to look pretty, but they actually have a strange, dark, and gothic essence to it. That's why from the toy box of ideas, I could only find a rose. Maybe I was feeling a lot emo that day. Again, on a random day, me and my mom were just sitting together watching TV. She told me that she really likes this Turkish show. I was bored, so I grabbed my tablet. She glanced at my screen and asked, "Hey, who's this character you're drawing all the time?" I replied, saying I just don't know her name yet. "Oh, I know this beautiful name of my favorite character." It's spoiler alert. You can only know the characters' names if you read my book. Actually, I admit as a person who shows interest when the world is dying, I actually give it a try. No need to fear because you, the savior, is here. Huh, where did everyone go? You idiot, where were you? So let's hop over to 2023. The pandemic was over and people were wearing masks in public places, like schools. That means that we were back to school. However, my school days around freshman years weren't great. That's the year I mostly got sick. A lot of school days, and I mean a lot. That one night I felt uneasy and started nose bleeding. I moved to a different state and I was totally lonely. I was only surrounded by four walls. Plus, because of study, I had a little time in which I divide my schedule, like going outside to play badminton and random games or video games and drawings and studies, of course. And just like that, around 10th grade, I came back to my project prepared. Another draft. Me and my brother were reading my previous draft that day. And God, I was so cringed. Like really cringed. Like, there's so many spelling mistakes. The reversible action or mistake that I often kept doing is that I would rewrite the same story, but I would never ask a question to myself like, does this part of the story make any sense? Why the protagonist is so curious about this quest? Or how do I make them involved in this action? And if I were to give you a tip about writing stories, think that how a character would start getting involved in a quest. What made them so interested? Maybe something happened in their past, or are they randomly making sense of things around their surroundings? Around 11th to the starting of 12th grade, I worked on the lore of my book. I would start organizing my plans and think about different skills, perhaps? Even though they couldn't work, I still wouldn't give up. I knew that climbing up that mountain would give me something. I felt like a mad scientist who wanted to quickly write down her ideas ASAP on a piece of paper. Organizing my ideas were like organizing a factory, just like a CEO would of a big company. But I'm not that good of an organizer. I quickly forget things, even to check my emails. When your brain juice is flowing, you have so many ideas that it feels like, what if humans had their legs upside down? 2025 was the most craziest moment of my life as I moved to America. Yay! As a child who grew up watching American cartoons, it was my dream to explore the land of opportunities. Every word, every search, finding the meaning of those words, finding the right genre, the people who supported me is a meaningful journey that I'll never forget. It all started as a simple video game idea, which now has turned into a novel. It feels like an evolution. I guess it took me to realize that there were so many things I could have done. Makes me feel like sending a letter to my past self that how badly, if it weren't you, this journey could have never started, you know what I mean? But thanks for letting me steal your idea. I just want to say that everything I did here is my own solo work, from book design to cover everything, and also I give credits to my brother for being my secret weapon. So if you would like to go for a read, you should, because I worked my ass. I'm not pressurizing you or anything. Don't worry, I won't show up in the local bookstore. If you're into the genre of fantasy and magic, you'll definitely love to read this book. I would find every piece of minute to make this video. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I hope to make more content in the future. Fingers crossed that one day my book will be sitting alongside other books in the bookshelf. Psst, you still there? Well, my book will be out someday in April, so stay tuned for that. And also make sure to follow official announcements from my social media accounts. By the way, I'm talking from my basement. Also comment U-Boot's basement if you made it this far into the video. So yeah, that's it. It will come in April, hopefully, I think. U-Boot out.